Hey, everybody. It is time for the energetic weather report for February 19th through the 25th. And once again, I've got my dear friend, Sherry Wynn here. Hey, Sherry.
Hi.
Hi. So this week for the energetic weather report, we are working with Guardian Angel Messages Tarot cards. It was my most recent Tarot card deck and one I dearly love. And so it was with artwork by Dan Craig. Such a great artist. Oh my God, he's so great and so much fun to work with. Just a great guy.
Love him.
Me too. But first, we are going to start with your personal Archangel of the week. So what I want you to do is, whether you're watching or listening, I want you to tune in. Just sort of tune in, intuitively tune in. Do you feel drawn to card number 1? Card number 2, card number 3, or card number 4? Okay, so don't make it too hard. Don't make it too hard. Just let it sink in. So the energetic weather report for February 19th through the 25th from Guardian Angel Messages Tarot cards. Did you hear that?
No.
It's Faith. She just barked.
I didn't hear it.
She's got the softest bark.
Aww.
She really does, which makes it so cute. And I'm not focusing, so I need to stop that. Okay, focus on shuffling. Okay, here we go. This happens, people. It's like, no matter how long you've been throwing cards, it's like you can get distracted. You just have to reground yourself, refocus. So thank you, Sherry, for the teachable. Well, thank you, Faith, for the teaching moment. Okay. Yes. All right. So our first card for this week is the Star. And the card says inspiration, fulfillment, and faith. Oh, that's why Faith was barking. She was like going. So I love the Star card. In tarot, the Star card comes after a bunch of cards that can be really challenging. And so with the Star card, it's the star finally comes out, the light comes out. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's this moment where it's like, okay, all of that stuff is finally going to fade into the past. All this stuff that's been really challenging me, making life difficult, making life hard. It's finally going to be done. And so the Star is definitely a card of faith. We have a person here who is walking through water and is pouring water from a set of urns with absolute faith and trust that the water will never run out. And we have these stars in the sky. So I always like to think of the Star card as partially when you wish upon a star. And that whole sense of, what are we wishing for? What are we hoping for? What do we want in our life? And getting to the space where we can be like, you know what? I am in a space now where I can manifest what I want. I can do what I need to do in my life. And you like the Star card a lot, right?
Well, you actually pulled that card for me one year at an I Can Do It.
Oh, really?
We were there, I think in Baltimore, and you were signing cards. You'd pull a card for people, they'd stand in line. Right. And then you pulled a card for me, and it was a Star card. I was so excited.
Cool. Super cool. So our next card, interestingly enough, is Two of Water. Two of Water. Now, this is a card that talks about partnership, commitment, and reconciliation. Now, I can't help but notice that in the Star card, we have 2 urns, and in the Two of Water, we have 2 goblets, 2 goblets of water. And so there's something going on here about water and the number 2. Right? So water is emotion. It's, even though this week is, even though it was the blog was about, or the podcast was about self-care for the body, that doesn't mean that the energetic weather report is going to necessarily match up with that. The week is the week. And so we've got a lot of emotion. Maybe we're carrying over emotion from Valentine's Day last week. or maybe we're just dealing with other emotions that we've been looking at. And so Two of Water is a card where it's a card of partnership. Okay, so a lot of people look at it as romantic. I look at it also as being very intimate friendships, but platonic, right? So it can be that. It can be these relationships or these friendships that we have, Sherry, and we have with other people, where it's just like the relationship itself is a gift.
Yes.
And that Two of Water, one of the meanings of Two of Water is a gift. Okay, it's giving a gift to somebody else. Partnership, commitment, and reconciliation. Now, one of the things that I love about Two of Water is that it is the only card in tarot, 78 cards, only one with a message of this relationship can be saved. So if you're in a relationship with anybody, a friendship, a romantic relationship, a familial relationship, and that relationship is strained, or you're thinking about giving up on it, Two of Water would encourage you to not so fast, to take a moment and to hold back and to look at where the opportunities are for reconciliation, for everything to be better. And the third card for this week is a card we just can't get away from. It's shown up at least in the Archangel of the Week cards, both of the first 2 weeks of February. Now it's showing up in the Energetic Weather Report. The card is the Dreamer.
Oh, well.
All right, the Dreamer. Again, this is the Dreamer from Guardian Angel Messages, of course. Beginning, believing, protected. In traditional tarot, as I've said before, this card was called the Fool. And let me tell you why I changed it and why I didn't like it. I didn't like the Fool. On its surface, the Fool card in traditional tarot is this guy, and he's running without paying any attention to what he's looking at. He's looking at a flower that he has in his hand, and he's got a dog nipping at his heels, and he's about to go over a cliff. All right. And so by its very nature, some people look at the Fool and think of it as doing something foolish, doing something stupid. I don't look at that card that way. I look at that card that way less as foolishness and more like innocence. And in the big backstory of the major arcana, which is there is symbolic of reincarnation. The Dreamer is the card where we incarnate, where we come into this life again. And so for this version of the Dreamer, I wanted to bring something literal about that. And so that's why it's a child. And what we have here is we've got a little girl, and she is chasing a gold butterfly. There's a dog there, but it is not nipping at her heels. It is her friend. And he is sitting there just watching all of this happen. And yes, there is a cliff, but there's a guardian angel right there to protect her, to keep her safe. So for me, the Dreamer is more along the lines of, it can be someone who's maybe doing something where you might say, oh, he's just dreaming. Or it can be someone where you say, oh, he's a dreamer, right? There's a difference. And in the Dreamer, I wanted people to see that it's okay to take a chance. It's okay to do something new. It's okay to start something new. It's okay to metaphorically reincarnate yourself into this lifetime. It's like we're still in a new year phase of things. It's like new year, new you. I know people hate that saying, but whatever. It's like you can do that, and you can do it in February if you want, or do it in August if you want. But what we have here is we've got the Star making a wish, Two of Water not giving up on something, and the Dreamer saying, go for it. You will be safe. It will be okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you. All right.
And I love the artwork on that card.
Oh God, If you have if you're just listening to this in the podcast, just go to Google or whatever search engine you want to do, search for guardian angel messages tarot cards, click on images, look at these images. Dan also did angel wisdom tarot cards. He's just a phenomenal artist. He just is, and just a blast to work with. So let's look at Archangel Power tarot cards. So while I'm doing this, Sherry, it's like, do you have your notes in front of you? Because I forgot to look and see what we're supposed to end with.
What do you mean?
What link we're supposed to end with?
Oh,
look in your notes. Okay, so the first card we have is Archangel Raziel. Okay, so Archangel Raziel is the great wizard of the Archangel realm. Okay, so Raziel comes in this rainbow color. Oh, there she's barking again.
I can't even hear her.
I know, she's really soft. So Raziel is this archangel who comes in rainbow colors, okay? And he's like the Merlin of the archangel realm. Now, when I say that, people get this sort of like idea in their minds that maybe he's like a wizard-looking guy with a white hair. I kind of don't see him that way. For me, he shows up as this sort of young Asian guy who's just got a mystical look about him, but that's okay. However you see him is fine. But he helps us. He's said to sit at the throne of God and write down all the secrets. And that's why his name means the secrets of God. And so Raziel has this magical ability to help us to tune in to esoteric information and make sense of it. All right. Oh, I forgot to ask you, which card did you pick?
One.
Oh, there you go. There you
That's
go.
my card.
That's your card. Card number 2 is the Emperor and Archangel Michael, beloved Archangel Michael, who comes in sapphire blue. His name means he who is like God. And he has a sword of light to sever our energetic connections to ego, to negative thoughts. He's also the Archangel of life purpose, if that's something that is very much interesting you at this time. Card number 3 is Archangel Zadkiel. Zadkiel. And so Zadkiel is the ginkgo biloba of the Archangel realm, okay? So he has the ability to help us to remember things. So if you're taking tests or taking an exam, or you are trying to remember what is that guy's name, I'm supposed to know his name, or you are studying, Zadkiel is great for students, but Zadkiel is also great for forgiveness. Okay, he's an archangel that helps us with forgiveness of self and of others. Finally, we have Archangel Jeremiel. Now, last week we had Haniel, which is one of the 2 archangels that does work with our divine gifts and our intuitive skills. Jeremiel is the other one that does that. It's just he's a masculine form of her feminine form. But Jeremiel is also the archangel that's said to help us to do life reviews. So, but you don't have to be dead to have a life review with Jeremiel. You can be very much alive, to have him help you to look at where are you now and versus where have you been and where are you headed to next.